Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with your host, Nufftingz. So I want to talk about Mortal Kombat 2, the live action movie. Not Annihilation, but Mortal Kombat 2, the one that just came out, what was it, like 6 months ago? So I watched it, and I got to be honest with you, I think it stank. Like I can't lie to you. That movie was terrible. Now, listen, I'll be honest with you. If you're not a Mortal Kombat fan, you probably love this movie. You probably ate it up. But as a Mortal Kombat fan that's played almost every game, I haven't played, Mythologies or any of those really terrible games. But, if you've played, Deadly Alliance and Deception and Mortal Kombat, the arcade games like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've played all the new stuff and everything, right? You know that the stories in the game just are so much better than what they're portraying in the movies. Now, okay, look, there's a lot of things I guess you could say are bad and maybe a couple things that are good, but I'll tell you what I found really good, right? Karl Urban as Johnny Cage, I don't think it was a good choice. I think he is an amazing actor. I do think that Kano was the GOAT. He was number one in that movie. Oh my gosh, Kano is just so funny. You know what I'm saying? But what I think they really dropped the ball on was they really should have had more interactions with Johnny Cage and Kano in their native tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like Karl, can you imagine Karl Urban talking to him? He's Johnny Cage, right? Can you imagine Johnny Cage actually not being American? They make him wherever Karl Urban is from. I think he's from New Zealand or something. Where is he from? He's Australian. Yeah, he's a New Zealand actor. Now, can you imagine him talking to Kano as he would have talked to people in The Boys? Like, can you imagine that interaction? Like, they would have been, like, that should be a movie on its own. Like, those two would have been so funny if they just were just their normal self. Kano talked the way he talks in the movie, but he's talking to Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage talks like how Karl Urban talks in The Boys. I think that would have been phenomenal. Like, seriously. But, Johnny Cage is American, but my gosh, oh my God. I cannot get over, like, it puts a smile on my face just thinking what they could have done with those two. Oh my God, it would have been so funny. So anyways, I also thought the fighting was a little bit like it seemed rushed to me, right? Now, okay, I thought that Cole Young dying was hilarious because of, people hating him in the first movie. I don't recall them ever talking about those marks that they have on their arms and all that. But, I mean, they should have got rid of that anyways. That shouldn't have been in the first movie. But, like, the guy that plays Shao Kahn, was it Martin Ford, whatever. I've been following him for years on Instagram and stuff. He's a big buff dude. I remember when he was supposed to fight that guy that they call the Hulk or something, and that didn't go through. I think he played Shao Kahn fine. And I mean, you need a big dude like that. And I mean, how many big dudes really have range? I personally think that someone that could have played Shao Kahn, if he was still jacked, would have been Dave Bautista. I think he could have played him. But I also feel like the problem with Shao Kahn, especially in this movie, was how he sounded. He didn't sound intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hardly talked. Like, he had as much lines as the Terminator in the first Terminator, right? As much Arnold had. But, like, what I'm trying to say is, the voice actors in the games, like for Shao Kahn, I think that actor's voice should have been the voice for Shao Kahn in the movies, right? And this is why I really feel like, see, when I watched this movie, I had to then watch Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge and Battle of the Realms or whatever. The reason why is because I sort of want to get the stank off me. Like, I honestly do think that this movie really was terrible. So I had to watch, Scorpion's Revenge and really get that back in, because the voice acting in those movies are phenomenal. right? Now, mind you, this is live action, but really, they really should have had Shao Kahn's voice actor from like Mortal Kombat 9 or even the newer games. I think it's the same person. But like the just that like the way how he just sounds, like he just sounds intimidating. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, it was like, oh no, like he's a force. Don't get me wrong. Like the dude is gangster. Like, oh my gosh. But and I think the story made no sense. Shinnok's amulet so early. Um, I don't know. Like when you played the games and you like, because I do uploads on Nufftingz Entertainment, and if you want to watch those videos and get the story, I have the stories on there, right? Like playthroughs of the stories of those games. And when you played so many times of the games and all that and get the stories, you feel like the game story is so much better than what they have in the movies, right? Um, I didn't have anything wrong with Jade having short hair, as people were complaining about. I think the lady that played Kitana played her phenomenal. Even the kid at the beginning when Jared, does fight Shao Kahn and she cries and the way how she was, I thought it was great. Um, I felt Sindel could have got some more screen time. It was a little bit like to me, I feel like certain characters were just rushed through. Noob Saibot, I don't really like the guy that plays Sub-Zero. Do you remember? It's not that I don't like him, but do you remember when was it Mortal Kombat? Was it Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat X? When when his character skin makes an appearance, and then it started giving people copyright because he didn't like that people were using his Sub-Zero online. Ever since then, I've just been like, I don't really like this guy. But anyways, him playing Noob, I loved how he played Noob. If it was actually him playing Noob, but he played Bihan good. He played Noob just as well. Um, but then I noticed too, like the guy that played Baraka, phenomenal. I loved how he played Baraka. I really like Kung Lao. Like, is it just me, or is Kung Lao like becoming the new cool guy? Like, he's always getting killed, and I was like, dude, Kung Lao, stop it. Like, stop killing my boy Kung Lao. But the thing that gets me about Kung Lao is that when I was growing up and you're playing the Midway games, I used to say, yo, Liu Kang, dude, Liu Kang. But now in my older years, I'm really a fan of Kung Lao. I think he's just such a cool character. You know what I'm saying? Like when he appears, they should have it go Kung Lao. Like like in Shaolin Monks, Kung Lao. Like they should have that every time he appears. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like him, bro. Like I don't know what it is, Kung Lao. Like it's just I don't know, man. But King Jared, I thought that was good though. Having King Jared finally fight Shao Kahn, we never saw that in any of the stuff before. I don't even think they had it in the comics, and I've read so many of them. It's like we never had, we never saw King Jared put that work in, and I was hoping that they would have done that in the games, like where they had Liu Kang go back in, like Liu Kang restart I will say go back in time when Liu Kang restarted the timeline. It would have been nice to have seen him, watch the King Jared and Shao Kahn fight. That would have been great. Um, Kitana winning, I'll be honest with you, I have no issue with it. Kitana does win in these newer stuff, and people be like, it's woke, it's woke. Look, man, Kitana's always been a fan favorite. Like, if you remember way back in Mortal Kombat 2, when you'd be at the arcade, what was people usually doing? The fan lift, jump, kick, and then throw the fan at Shao Kahn or Kintaro, right? It was like just that straight combos how everybody was beating the arcade version, right? So I really enjoyed certain things, but I felt the movie did drag on because there was certain time, like one thing that got me, and it made me and my son stare at each other, was when Johnny Cage is doing that little dance thing that he did in that movie he was doing. And who was he fighting? Baraka, and he did that little dance move. And I was looking at it and I was like, yo, why are we watching this guy do ballerina stuff? Like, to me, that was nonsense. Um, I don't know, man. Like Johnny, like they could have done more. They could have made him way more funnier. It just seemed like he was there for a paycheck, and I'm talking about Carl Urban. Like it didn't seem right to me. But the guy that plays Scorpion, what's his name? Haruki Sanada. I think he does a great job playing Scorpion. The problem with that is that he's getting older, and how many more do these guys really have where they can really give you the best performance? The same thing with Shang Tsung. I think the guy that plays Shang Tsung is phenomenal, but like I said, age, right? Like we're starting to see that, our good actors are getting older and it's time for the younger ones to really step up, right? So, I mean, it's the same thing with with Carl Urban. Like, how long is he gonna be able to play Johnny Cage, right? Um, I do like the actors, and I do think the guy that played Kung Lao played him well. But like even the guy that plays Jax, he's good, man. Like I like the fact. The thing that gets me about Jax though is that he said the F word a lot, and I'm like, is Jax really like that? Because like in all the stuff I watched him, I never thought he would swear as much as he did. But it was a different take on Jax, I guess. But he wasn't bad. Like the dude that plays him is good. But I think the guy that plays Baraka was phenomenal, and him able to do that with all that fake teeth and all that the way it was going on, it's pretty cool. The guy that plays Raiden, though, is it me or is it like hard to understand him sometimes? Like you're looking at him like, yo, what did he say? Like, what did you say? Like, but he plays him well too. Um, the guy that played Quan Chi, phenomenal. I mean, Quan Chi's a hard one, to dislike. Quan Chi is that guy. He didn't really have as much screen time as I figured a Quan Chi would have. Because look, man, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, Quan Chi has got his foot in everything. He's a problem in every story has a little bit of Quan Chi in it. You know what I'm saying? So Quan Chi being in there, I felt like they could have done more with him. But what do I know? I'm not a movie director or anything, but the guy that played him well. Um, but I'll still say that my favorite Quan Chi was the one that was in Mortal Kombat Conquest. I don't know if you guys remember that TV series. Like I love that Quan Chi. Even the one in Mythology, like when you watch the shots of him, he played him pretty well too. Like, but anyways, like I said, I felt Sindel could have done more too. But overall, I would give the movie a 5 out of 10. Right? If you are not a fan of Mortal Kombat games, you would probably give it a higher rating. But like I feel like the movies, the not live action, the animation ones are just so much better. Um, way more gory and all that too. But I mean, I feel like the animation is better, the voice acting is better. But I feel like I said, they could have taken some of those voice actors and just had them do Shao Kahn, for instance, right? Because you don't really see his mouth move or anything. But him getting rid of Cole Young, fan service. But I do feel like Cole Young should come back as a Scorpion or a Kenshi. Like he would be cool to come back as Kenshi. I feel Kenshi would be the better choice since he got his head bust. But yeah, besides all that, like I said, 5 out of 10. The movie could be better, but what can you expect from live action movies based on video games when you have you know it's like when you play the video games, you feel that the movies should be just as good. So we have high expectations when we shouldn't. I mean, I do, and I shouldn't. I've watched them all, and I watched all the media, and I still believe that the Force Mortal Kombat was the best, but that could be nostalgia. Annihilation is a fun watch. The first Mortal Kombat for these new movies, it didn't make any sense. The second one is better, but it could be better. So hopefully the third movie, they improve and they make it better, and they just keep making it better each time. You know what I'm saying? Until it's a 10 out of 10 and they get the formula right. But anyways, that was my opinion on Mortal Kombat 2. I say go watch Scorpion's Revenge and those movies, because those movies are really good compared to these, but these live actions, they're passable. Anywho, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.